Hey guys, what is up? This is Mr. A. Crizzy here, and in today's movie review, this review is going to be on the new A24 film I just got back from seeing at my local Phoenix movie theater. And yeah, that same movie theater I've been working at for a long time and seeing movies at for a long time as well. So, yeah. And this review is going to be on this A24 horror film, which, just came out. And this review is on Bring Her Back. Yep, this is my ticket to the movie, Bring Her Back, right here. And so, Bring Her Back comes to us from the directors of Talk to Me, which was an amazing horror film from A24, and also one of my favorite horror films to come out in 2023. And yeah, so this movie is directed by Danny and Michael Filippo. And like I said, they're both the directors of Talk to Me. So they're back for the second time to direct a horror film. And so in this movie, Bring Her Back is about two step siblings who are placed in the middle of this house on some sort of like rainy day or something like that. But yeah, so it basically follows these two step siblings who are placed in the middle of like, it's like some sort of like cottage, whatever that's called. And so they're being kept by this like woman played by Sally Hawkins. And together the two step siblings have to like bring their foster mother's daughter back to life. And of course, like, Sally Hawkins's character also keeping this kid, which is not really hers. And yeah. And of course, since this is an A24 horror film, you know exactly what to expect, because A24 horror films can be considered weird and disturbing as well when it comes to their films, their horror work. And yeah. So when I first saw trailers to this movie, it did look kind of interesting from the trailers or something like that, because considering the fact that this movie is from Danny and Michael Filippo, who previously directed Talk to Me. And since I heard that they're back to making this movie as a follow-up film to their previous film, because Talk to Me did very well with critics and audiences, and was also a box office success when it came out as well. This movie, Bring Her Back, had me interested a little bit right before the movie first came out, and so I just got back from seeing it. Yeah, for the most part, I actually really enjoyed this movie. I actually thought Bring Her Back was actually an awesome film, and I will say, yeah, it's definitely one of my new favorite horror films to come out this year as well. Yeah, and even though this movie kind of doesn't have those similar, it kind of doesn't have that same vibes as Talk to Me. I'm sure some of you guys might get a kick out of this, even though, yeah, but I did like the story, though. The story itself was kind of puzzling at some parts, like, because sometimes it does get a little puzzling on where you have to like figure out what's going on throughout most of the movie. And yeah, it's like, and the horror aspects to this movie were really scary, because this movie's really scary, and also the imagery was also disturbing too, when it comes to like some sort of like the disturbing imagery for most of the movie. And of course, this movie also does not rely on jump scares all that much, which I think is a good thing, because not all horror films can rely on jump scares. And yeah, this is more like a supernatural horror film. Yeah, where there's hardly any jump scares, and it doesn't like it, or it's not just a simple jump scare in your face or something like that. And of course, this movie is also set in Australia, just like Talk to Me, because this movie's based in Australia. And I gotta say, the performances in this movie were really good too. Like, I gotta say, the two main lead roles of who played the step siblings, they did a good job. And Sally Hawkins was also really good in the film too, because I thought Sally Hawkins did great in the film. And yeah, because and her character at first you think seems like a nice woman. At first you think she would be a nice lady, but then right when the middle of the movie comes up, you like. Because I'm first of all, I'm not gonna spoil anything to some of you guys out there who like horror movies, so I'm not gonna spoil anything. So plus, I'm not gonna spoil the disturbing imagery either. And yeah, the kid that Sally Hawkins is keeping in this movie Like, yeah, he's like the kid. The kid in this movie is completely insane when it comes to the disturbing imagery. But I'm not gonna spoil what happens to him or her, whatever. But yeah, but like I said, Sally Hawkins was great in the film. I really enjoyed her performance, and yeah, because Sally Hawkins was actually the same actress who was in the first two Paddington films. Like she was the mother in Paddington 1 and 2. Yeah. And yeah, and this is basically her transitioning from a kids family film to like a horror movie, which I think is kind of like an interesting, funny transition from a family from two family films to a horror movie. And yeah, and I gotta say, the atmosphere too. The atmosphere was actually very suspenseful. The atmosphere was pretty scary at sometimes, while at the same time suspenseful. And the atmosphere I thought was pretty cool too. It's well shot, and during like the middle of the film, it takes place on like a rainy day, like it's set in rain. And plus, yeah, I actually saw this movie like when I first went to see this movie when I first got into the theater. It was actually raining in my area. Yeah, but right now it's stopped. So yeah, but now it's stopped when I got out of the movie. But yeah, the cinematography I thought was well shot, and yeah, and of course it does have a little drama elements blended into it, like a little emotional drama elements that are blended into it. But yeah, but for the most part, I actually enjoyed Bring Her Back. I thought it was awesome, scary and disturbing at the same time. But for the most part, still an awesome film from A24, and I'm glad I went and saw it. Yeah, and I gotta say, Danny and Michael Filippo, they both did a great job directing this film, just like how they also did a great job directing Talk to Me. And what's also interesting about those two guys is that they're actually like YouTubers. Like it's very rare for a specific like YouTuber to direct a movie that's considered to be really good, as long as they know what they're doing. And yeah, Danny and Michael Filippo, they were actually like YouTubers, and yeah, and they both go by their YouTube username Raka Raka, which I never watched their videos, but I only first knew about them when they directed Talk to Me back in 2023. But I gotta say, these two guys did a great job working on this film, just like they did with the first Talk to Me. And yeah, and by that I mean that they're actually planning on making a sequel to Talk to Me, which I still haven't heard anything about a sequel to Talk to Me. I mean, they first officially announced that Talk to Me 2 was going to be in the works, but I think as of right now, nothing is said about the film. But we'll have to wait and see if something comes up. But yeah. But for right now, Bring Her Back was an awesome, well-made horror film. And yeah. So overall, Bring Her Back was a good experience to see on the big screen. And yeah. So overall, I'm gonna rate Bring Her Back 4.5 out of 5 stars. Yeah, that's my rating. 4.5 out of 5 stars. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing a horror movie from A24, then I say this is a good one to check out. And plus, to those who also enjoyed Talk to Me, then I would say this is a good one to check out. And yeah, there is that other A24 film, which is also a black comedy film starring Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson, which I've been hearing great things about. Yeah, it's called Friendship. Yeah, and Friendship was actually the last preview I got in front of my screen to the movie, which is kind of odd because they actually played the trailer for Friendship before this movie started, even though Friendship just came out. Like it first came out as a limited release, and then it was given an expanded release on the 23rd of May, which yeah, that was like last week. But I think one of these days I might check out Friendship whenever I have time, but I'm probably gonna have to wait till it comes out on Max or HBO Max, whatever, or whenever something comes up, whenever I decide on something. But all that aside, Bring Her Back was a good movie that I personally enjoyed. And there you have it, guys. That's gonna be it for my movie review on Bring Her Back. And that's going to be it for this video, so make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And as always, thanks for watching, and until next time, this is Mr. A. Crizzy saying, goodbye everybody, and that's about it.